My name is Brian. I run a business called I Sell Words. I'm also co-owner and marketing director of Coach Mo Athletics, LLC. Today, we're going to talk about some updates with I Sell Words. And more importantly, we're going to get into the thing that you must do as a business owner before you launch a new product or service or do anything of the like. And so we're going to discuss it. If you've been with me for a while, you may have an idea of where we're going with it because we're about to go ahead and beat this horse again. So that's what I have on today's live stream. I'll get to you after the intro. Peace. All right, so what we're doing is we're condensing the nonsense and we're jumping right into the topic at hand. The thing you must do before you start any new product or service or business venture is you need to determine who you are serving. And we've discussed it a lot because it has to be discussed a lot. So that's the thing. So it's no spoiler alert or anything. You can just stay tuned and I'll get to it. First things first, though, I do need to give a quick update of I Sell Words, and it actually folds into our topic pretty neatly. So I started I Sell Words as a copywriting business, and I expanded it out to pretty much all forms of marketing. And over the past about 18 months, I've done a lot of different marketing projects. And I realized that I don't necessarily want to do a lot of different marketing projects. And so I'm trying to narrow the scope of I Sell Words and its related properties down to some specific niches and things that I want to serve. I have a YouTube channel, I have a podcast, and the podcast is called The Unstuck Sessions. The other one's called What's the Business with Brian and Brandy. Both of those serve different audiences. I need to narrow the business down because I'm burning myself out. And so I decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step back from everything that's not related to producing video, recording video, shooting podcasts, planning podcasts, and really just laser focus on that. And the first piece we'll add back when I start growing again is probably the copywriting piece. Also consulting. I love teaching. And so the teaching goes into the videos. And so these are the elements that I want to really laser focus on over the next 12 months. That being said, the content of this channel, the content of the related channels is I really want to show business owners how they can make their own content and be their own media department. And it's important, in my perspective, to know that stuff so that when you do hire a marketing consultant, or if you do, you know how to supervise them. You have a strong voice and a strong brand identity so that you can give them a template to work off of so they can give you the good marketing results that you're paying for. And so my job here is to teach business owners how to do their own marketing. And there's so many different facets to it. We're going to be focusing pretty heavily on recorded content, on content creation for social media, but we're going to get into a little bit of copywriting. We're going to get into a little bit of email marketing. But really, this is about teaching business owners how to create their own content. And that's what the content of this channel is pivoting towards. The other part of it is I'm growing my YouTube channel and podcast channels. And so I want to give you guys a glimpse behind the curtain as I grow these things and look at some of the numbers and things along those lines so that you have an idea on how to track the analytics. It's been a slow start, and we're starting to pick up steam just because I'm getting my reps in. I'm getting more content out there. I'm getting more comfortable in behind the camera or in front of the camera and behind the camera, actually. I've been doing this for a long time, but I haven't been recording myself. It's been other people. And so that's always the challenge, making sure my lighting's set up, making sure my camera's right, making sure my sound sounds right. These are all important considerations. And so I want to teach business owners how to do it without them having to feel like they got to invest a whole lot of time doing it, if that makes sense. So that's what the focus of this channel is. And so we'll be looking at analytics on my YouTube, on the back end of the YouTube page and in the YouTube studio and stuff. And just, I might even do a video that kind of shows you me posting a YouTube short. And I'm probably going to do a whole video about my shorts strategy, because that's going to change here in a second. I got to keep a buck with y'all. The YouTube Shorts algorithm is really a tricky monster. And so I want to make sure that I'm feeding it the right information and not the wrong information. So that's what I have on today. That's really the update for I Sell Words. We're narrowing down to podcasts, videos, podcasts and YouTube videos, and straight consultation where I'm teaching you how to do elements of this and stepping back from a lot of the done-for-you services that I had been doing for other businesses. I'm still going to be working with my current client set, but hold off on taking anybody new until we figure out a better way to present it and a better way to service it, so that it's not just me working all 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on this stuff. So that's what we got. All right. So we're going to jump into the topic at hand, which is know who you're serving. And I already did the intro, but for those that missed the intro, my name is Brian Hill. I have a marketing business called I Sell Words. We are pretty much a full stack marketing agency that's really pivoting into consultation and video marketing and podcast marketing. And I also am co-owner and marketing director of Coach Mo Athletics. And that is a business that we're growing. We're bootstrapping the whole thing. And so we're looking at growing and we've had some phenomenal growth over the last couple of years. And that's really where the lion's share of my time has been, is growing that out. And so I do bring some things to the table. I'm sharing some insights that I have from marketing both businesses. A lot of this is more related to the stuff I've done and applied with Coach Mo Athletics. And so that's going to be the reference point I'm using, plus some of the client work that I've done for other businesses around here. All right. That's my experience. So what we're talking about today, you need to know who you're serving. And the very first step in knowing who you're serving is realizing who you don't want to serve, realizing or who you can't serve adequately right now. That is the scariest part. The niching down piece. And a lot of business owners are super hesitant to want to niche down. And if you're a business owner out here watching this, tell us what niche you want to serve versus what niche you're currently serving. And maybe I can come up with some solutions for you. But really niching down is a necessary part of the growth thing. And then as you start growing, then of course your niche is going to expand and you're going to find more people to serve within that niche, or you may have to niche up and open things up again. But the biggest thing that I see limiting business owners is that FOMO, that fear of missing out, because you're viewing niching down as limiting your market or limiting your available clients. And it's really not that. It's finding a better opportunity. Focusing on a smaller segment of the market actually opens you up to more opportunities, because when you're trying to serve everybody, you have to adjust your product offering to meet everybody's tastes. And that's not a good thing, because those are the kind of products where if it satisfies a bunch of different people's tastes, then that means that you have a product that a lot of people are making. You have a lot of competition. So you want to tailor make your product or service or business to solve a specific problem of a specific subgroup of clients. And it's okay. The example I gave last time was a personal trainer who's looking at niching down. They have a lot of experience, doing personal training with women, and they have a good idea of that market. All right. So why not niche down and look for fitness for pregnant women, where you're focusing on providing personal training for pregnant women, because there are very specific things that you're going to have to do to ensure the safety of mom and baby. And if that skill set, you can absolutely just narrowly target that. And then you can go out to a lot of places where women get prenatal care and hand out your business cards and let them know that you specialize in providing safe exercises and exercise services for pregnant women. Our niche with Coach Mo Athletics are basketball players who want to get better, who want to train. We're not a general, just bring any kid and plop them down and let us babysit them with basketballs. We want to train your kid to get better. So we're looking for a specific subgroup of parents and specific subgroup of kids that actually want to train to get better, to level up. And so that's who we're focusing on, either kids that want to learn the game or kids that want to get better at the game. We're not here competing with just having a bunch of teams and we just slap your kid on a team and no development goes into it. We're not into that. And so that's our niche. And we've had success as we've narrowed down, where we realize, okay, these are the fields a lot of our parents are concentrated in. We need to put some emphasis behind that. We need to tailor some of our language to attract a specific subsect of these parents. And so the niching down showed us more opportunities than anything else. And had we stuck with the fear of missing out, we'd have been having this big, huge, broad offer for everybody that really doesn't attract any individual to us. So I know that there's also the perceived risk, and that's one of the things that's scary because, of course, you think reducing the potential client net is going to limit the clients that come in the door. But as you narrow down, you're going to start finding more people that align with your product or service. And this is just my experience. You're going to find more people that relate to your product or experience who are in a mode where they're ready to do business with you because you're solving a very unique problem for them. And so it feels like you're cutting down on your potential clients, but you're really not. You're actually expanding your potential client pool because you're tailoring your offer to meet a very specific need. And so those people that have that need and need to get met are going to see your marketing and they're going to see your product and they're going to come to you. Uncertain ROI, that's part of the business thing. You always got to look at what your return on investment is. And that's the scary part about shrinking down who you're targeting, is the hit to ROI. And so there's no way to counsel you past that aside from you taking a specific offer and laser targeting on a certain group. And then once you see the return on investment from specifying your offer and laser focusing in on a specific segment, you can expand that to the rest of your business. And lack of knowledge. Sometimes you haven't really put thought into who your clients really are. You haven't done enough of the research. You don't talk to your clients enough, or you haven't jotted it down to know what specific problems brought them to you. You need to know why they came to you, why they chose you out of all the other options. And so this does require a little bit of market research. You got to research a little bit with your client set. So those are the top ones that I see. There's plenty of other ones out there. And I could spend all day talking about the fear piece of it, but I don't want to make this a fear-based live stream. I want to make this opportunity-based. And so I'm not going to spend an inordinate amount of time talking about the fear piece of it. We're going to talk about the how. We're going to talk about how you're going to start creating that client avatar. And when I say client avatar, the client avatar is the client that you're tailoring your business or service around. You're building everything around that piece. Your services meet their needs. And they are basically your dream clients. You're serving everything that they're asking you to serve. And they won't trade you for love or money. And I know that sounds like a high watermark, but if you are absolutely providing exactly what somebody's looking for from a business standpoint, it takes more energy to go find somebody else than it is to just say, you know what, I'm happy here and they're meeting my needs. I'm not going to switch. It's the same reason why you don't change cable providers every month, because you may hate your cable provider, and most people do. But it's more mental energy to keep switching from a new cable provider to a new cable provider to a new cable provider. It takes more energy. You're just like, okay, they're meeting my internet needs and I'm getting TV or telephone or whatever other services. It ain't worth all this. Now, we're going to put a positive spin on it. If you are providing the exact service that your dream clients are looking for, then your price almost becomes a little bit immaterial. As long as you're not gouging people and it's a fair price, you can adjust your price up and down. Then you can add other layers to your offering to make it even sweeter to justify any price increases coming up. And so you can create other tiers of service that encompass everything that the people are already getting from your product or service, plus add on the extra requests that they've been making of you. And so now you're really getting into the flow of things. That's why a client avatar is really important. And I've talked about it. I think it's Ulta has a very specific client avatar, which they've named. They've named them, and basically they've done all the demographics. They know what kind of job they have, how many kids they have, car they drive, and all these other things. And as a result, that's how they make decisions on what product lines are going to bring into their store. Will such and such, will our client avatar be a customer for this? And if the answer is yes, then they'll bring in the product line and test it. If the answer is no, sorry, that's just how it goes. It's life in the big city. And so that's what that client avatar does for you. It allows you to really focus your business. And the reason why I say you have to do this before you do anything else is I'm a strong proponent in this. I always think that you have to know exactly who you're serving before you launch a product or service. If you only have a vague idea of the who this product is for, or who this business is for, or who this service is for, you haven't done enough research. And it's really a risky gamble in my mind if you don't have a clear-cut idea of who you're serving. And so that may not work for everybody else, but that's what works for me. And that's what's worked for me in terms of bootstrapping Coach Mo Athletics to where it's at right now. And so that's why this thing is so important to me. And so having that ideal client, it can target your ads a little bit better, so you're spending less on your marketing, but you're also getting a better return on the money that you put in because you're only bringing in people that are aligned with that product or service or have a specific problem that you're solving. And you get rid of all the people that are the tire kickers or the people that are just perusing out of curiosity and wasting your time. And you're getting people that are specifically aligned with what you're trying to do. All right. And it gives clearer messaging for your marketing because that's important. Clearer messaging for your marketing is one of the things I struggle with because anybody who knows me knows that I'm verbose. I love my big words. I don't necessarily try to use them. I don't sit around and think about what $1 million word can I throw out. It just comes out because I have a pretty big vocabulary. And I actually have to dial back my vocabulary a lot of times so that I can clarify my message. If you're creating marketing material, you really should be writing at a 5th grade or 6th grade reading level. That's not an insult to anybody, but that allows for the widest swath of people that are going to comprehend what you're saying. Your marketing message, your marketing materials, your website copy, even the way that you speak needs to be like at a 5th or 6th grade reading level. And you adjust it depending on your audience. But if you want the biggest group of people to understand what you're saying, target that 5th and 6th grade reading level. You need to be rewriting a lot of your ads and social media posts to really hit that. There are plenty of tools online that will do it for you, that will tell you what reading level your written stuff is at. And so you need to really be focusing on communicating. And that's a struggle that I have because I'm trying to take a lot of those $1 million words out of my vocabulary because it doesn't always serve me to do that. I can use it in specific context again, or I could use it in certain situations, but it doesn't always help me when I'm trying to get a point across. I almost say convey. You see, it doesn't help me when I'm trying to make a point. All right. The very first step in assembling this client avatar is if you already have the business and you already are running it and you're looking at a new product line, you need to look at your current information, whether you have a CRM or you just keep track of it on a spreadsheet. You need to really start figuring out who are your best clients and start figuring out what are the common places, what age group are they in, male or female, where do they normally live? Things along these lines. Is there a specific industry that most of them are coming from? And start putting these pieces together so that you can start crafting your ideal clients. And so the things you're going to want to use, you're going to want to have demographic details, like I just said. Here's $1,000 word. I'm throwing it out there, but I'll explain what it means. Psychographic details. This is interest, habits, values, goals, etc. Motivations, things they're motivated by, basically. What's their buying behavior? Do they buy stuff online? Are they a brand shopper? Do they only buy things that have the name brand attached to them? You're going to want to know this stuff. Some people almost shop exclusively through Amazon. You're going to want to know this stuff, because if they shop exclusively through Amazon, if you can make your product something that they can purchase online, it's going to be a little bit easier to convert them. And then you're going to use things like surveys, interviews, web analytics, social media insights. The social media insights thing is available to everybody that has a Google account or a Facebook page. You just got to get access to it. For Facebook, it's the Meta Business Suite. That's going to give you the information of the people that visit your business page on Facebook. Google Analytics, Google Ads, these are the things that are going to give you the details on the back end for your Google stuff. And when I say Google stuff, that means you're listing on Google. I know that I think they're getting rid of Google My Business or changing how it works. I'm not quite sure, but until they do, Google My Business kind of is the place where they keep all that information. That's where you update your address. That's where you update your address for your business. That's where you put in your phone number and things along those lines. And also where you take pictures of your business and your products and services so that Google shows them in their search results. I'm not getting too deep into that. I'm saving all the Google stuff for another video. But one thing you do want to keep in mind is Google owns YouTube. And so when your business has a presence on YouTube, it helps out your Google listing and vice versa. But yeah, you're going to want to have all this information on hand. And this is where you're going to have to sit down and start plowing through information. If you find out that most of your clients are male teachers between the ages of 33 and 45, then now we start figuring out, okay, so where do male teachers normally congregate online? Congregate is another one of those $1 million words. Where do they normally get together online? And start figuring out, okay, so if they get together online here, how do I have a presence in here? How do I get in here? There's specific groups, specific teacher groups or interests that they share, and relate it back to your product. But figuring out where they are is hugely important, because that's how you know where to target your marketing. All right. So I don't have the blank client avatar or template. I'm terrible with visual aids. I'm sorry. That will come. I'll probably insert something along those lines in a video clip when I start editing this, probably insert it about here-ish, so that we can start going through that blank client avatar. But the idea is you want to have all these pieces in place, and then you start making your deductions and figuring out how things work together. If I can find a blank client avatar, I'll drop it in the show notes, and then you can have that tool to get started. So first things first, what's the client avatar's name? What's your dream client's name? Male or female? So we'll say our ideal client, her name is, she's Sarah. She's 30 years old. She's from New York, and she's a digital marketer. Okay. She wants to learn digital marketing. So that's why she's of interest. That's what my product, that's what my service is. That's what my channels are looking to serve, people who want to learn digital marketing. And there's a lot of digital marketers that don't know the basics of digital marketing. So she's a perfect client for us. All right. She wants a strong work-life balance. She's always seeking to improve her skills. And she faces challenges keeping up with all the different trends in the digital space, because there's a lot of noise in the digital marketing space. There's always a new tool, a new style of presenting things. And so she has a difficult time keeping up with that stuff. All right. And so now we have an idea. Okay, this is the client avatar. This is the person that we want to attract. The newbie digital marketer who's getting overwhelmed with information. Okay, that allows me to build entry-level courses, intro to digital marketing, cut through the noise, focus on these tips. I can do videos about that kind of stuff. And so now I'm starting to inform how I actually create content, marketing content to serve them. And then I start making related products. So if I'm selling some kind of e-course or book or something along those lines that aligns with exactly what she's looking for, how she can maintain her work-life balance and be an effective digital marketer, I could create a book or something written that gives my tips on how to do that stuff. And so are you seeing where I'm going with this? These are the different things that you do to try to really flesh out who this person is. And these are the things that you can do once you have a good idea of the demographics and psychographics and motivators, psychographics/motivators. Okay. So once we have that client avatar, now we're going to test it. And I'm not getting into all the analytics pieces of it because there's things we call vanity metrics where they're just numbers that don't really mean anything. And if you start chasing those too much, it can really limit your growth. You can start focusing on the more granular vanity style metrics once you have a good client base. And then you can figure out how to optimize what your offering is to make sure that you're meeting all their needs. But really, the thing I'm focused on is conversions. Is the thing you're doing selling? Is it getting them to click? Is it getting them to take the action that you want them to take? Those are the things that matter out the gate. And so that's the research. I started running this new ad with built to attract this client avatar. We've had X amount of clients come in and Y amount of clicks. And from the Y amount of clicks, we have Z amount of purchases. That's how I would phrase it until you get up and running where you have a lot of clients flowing in who meet that specific. And once you do have that flow, now it's time to narrow down because now you know where all these people are coming from. You know that your client avatar attracts them. And so now you need to start finding commonalities so you can shrink down even more and offer more value or offer different tiers or upsells or ongoing services to meet their needs. The idea that you don't just buy the product, but you buy a service that helps that product along. It's the entire car thing. You buy a new car, and when you buy that new car, one of the upsells is, oh, you want oil changes? How about some protection coverage for your paint job, just in case you get hit with the shopping cart? Yeah, I guess so. All right. Those tires probably need some coverage too. And so they upsell you this whole suite and package of services to enhance your purchase of that vehicle. So they're going to offer you other service options on top of the car they just sold you. A smart dealer would even, if you're a smaller dealer out there, you probably even have some kind of subscription service that every month they pay X, Y, and Z, and that allows them to get tires rotated or oil checkups or whatever. And it's a small amount, but it adds up over the year. And they don't have to think about it. There's no transaction needed or anything. They just bring their car in for their general regular service at the intervals that are listed out. And since they've been paying, they're a paid subscriber, they get the services. Having things to improve the experience once they already have the product is a good way. And that's what having a narrower client avatar allows you to do. You know exactly what problems they're going to run into. I would keep going back to the car thing. Cars are going to have all kinds of issues after they get past a certain amount of time driving. But if you make it really easy for them to extend the life of that car and get the most out of their purchase, they're going to pay for it. If they feel like they're getting nickel and dimed every single time they come in to the dealership, they're going to stop coming into the dealership and they're going to start finding other places to provide the same level of service, is what it is. So it allows you to narrow down and figure out other complementary services that align with the different groups. And the other side is you may have one general client avatar, but 4 or 5 other avatars that spring off from that client avatar, and you can create other products. You can create higher tier services like elite level services and charge for them. And It's not predatory or anything. You're meeting enhanced needs of these clients that you're working with. And the only way you get to that point is knowing what issues they're having. So just something to chew on. Just making sure that you are really narrowly focused on. I'm thinking of industries where a client avatar really help, specifically like therapy. If you are a licensed therapist and you're your own practice, you really do want to have a client avatar of your scope of practice, who you're serving, because there's going to be specific people that you're licensed to serve and people that you're not licensed to serve. If you're not licensed to do any kind of substance abuse, that kind of limits you in terms of working with populations of people that have a dual diagnosis where they have substance issues and other mental health issues. But you can also I focus on kids. I focus on postpartum depression. I specialize in these different things and creating a client avatar that matches all of them. And I know in human services, it feels icky to talk about that level of business stuff. It does. It feels gross. I'm from that world. It feels nasty. It doesn't feel good to talk about the straight up hardcore business aspects of it. But even in human and social services, there are client avatars that are being served by these different agencies that work there. Residential facilities, there are specific types of kids that don't do well in specific types of situations in a residential setting. And so you have a client avatar or multiple client avatars of kids that do thrive in that residential environment. We're talking about adult residential services. There are specific types of people, specific clients, specific avatars who don't thrive in all residential situations. You have to sit down and actually think about it. It sounds icky, it sounds gross, but that's the truth behind it. I don't know how else to phrase it to y'all. So these different client avatars allow you to really maximize service and deliver the kind of quality that you want to be known for. All right. So now we have the client avatar. What do we do with them? Now you have the tool to create the Facebook posts, the blog posts, the content, the video content, the YouTube content, the LinkedIn posts. You have the tool that will create those different content for those different platforms and attract the people that you want to serve. You can target ads on Facebook and Google. You can develop new products that align. Like I said, you can develop new products that fall into the line of your client avatar. Having that good idea of who you're serving allows you to create products that are optimized to serve the needs of those clients. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit tongue-tied there. But blog posts, video, social media posts, targeted ads, those are the things. Email marketing. People pretend like email marketing and snail mail are going away. They're not. They're still making money. And being able to use your client avatar to create those is something that's going to bring you money. So having that who allows you to write to attract that group of people, that subgroup, that client avatar, those dream clients. If you try doing this stuff where it's just this general broad kind of stuff, what you're left with are these really generic messages. And the generic messages don't really speak to anybody's individual problem that would convince them to come seek out your services to solve their problem. I hope I'm making sense here. You want to be able to create content that tells people, hey, I'm over here. If you have this problem, I can solve it for you. I can make it go away. Come on in. We'll sit down and talk. And by the time you walk out, you will either have a solution or be working on a solution with me. That's what the client avatar does for you. And a lot of businesses don't do that. They just don't. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that people are following Coke, Pepsi, Walmart, and all this other stuff where they never really, and I can't even say Walmart or Coke or Pepsi as much, but it's really this general kind of, hey, we're over here, look at us, aren't we cute, come buy our products kind of stuff, as opposed to, Hey, you thirsty? Yeah, it's hot out here. Do you want water? Nah, you don't want water. Here's my brown flavored sugary sludge. Tastes great though. And has a little bit of caffeine to give you a kick. All you got to do is just give us a couple bucks and you can have a 12 pack of these things. And you can put them in your fridge and drink them and they're cold. And yeah, it just switches things up, changes up. So you're not just drinking water. What's drinking water? You're addressing people that have a sweet tooth or are thirsty and already be like, oh, I need something that's not water. Need something that's caffeinated that's not water or coffee to pick me up and jolt me. And that's how you market those things. But the name recognition gets Coke to sell and gets Pepsi to sell and gets McDonald's to sell. But at the end of the day, you're still coming there with a need. You go into the gas station to buy a bottle of Coca-Cola because you're thirsty and you don't want water. You're stopping by McDonald's because you're on the run and you need something to eat. And if you watch some of their ads and pull some of their ads apart, they even give little whispers to that in the way the ads are formed. You're showing a van with a family in it, and they're leaving a sporting event, and it's late at night. They're going to hit at McDonald's, or the team that just won the title, the coach is taking them out to McDonald's. These are different problems. A hungry team, you're feeding a hungry team of people. McDonald's is the answer. So one person doesn't have to try to cook all that stuff. So what I'm saying is this: a lot of people really follow how the major brands market themselves, and that's not the best way to do it, because the major brands are really going on just top of mind awareness. They're just trying to continue to let you know they exist and buy your loyalty that way. You aren't there yet. If you're a small business owner, you need to really laser target on the people that have the problem that you can solve, and then start working on getting that top of mind awareness where they make your product ubiquitous. Okay, ubiquitous. I don't have another word for that. I'm sorry. Where they make your product ubiquitous with the problem that they're trying to solve. If you're a dog walker, you want your clients to think of you when they know their dog needs a walk. That's what the goal is. And the way you do that is by creating a client avatar full of pet owners who you can serve and who you can walk their dog for them. And then maybe start adding on services. If you add on some grooming services, now you can walk the dog and groom them. You can get them one of those pet EQers and kind of things where you create an entire animal spa for them. So not only does the dog get walked, but they get pampered for a few hours and then they come back. These are the kind of things that having that client avatar allows you to do, allows you to create services that are laser targeted in. You are forbidden from creating a new business without having a client avatar. I need you to hear me on this, so I'm getting close to the mic. You are forbidden from creating a new product, service, or business without having a client avatar. It does not serve you. It does not help you. It doesn't set you up for success if you do not know who you are serving. If you need help with it, the contact information is about to get posted. ISO Words can help you through consultations, through our Unstuck Sessions service. We can absolutely sit down and help you come up with the client avatar. Visit isellwords.net. Go check us out. And we can book a time and sit down and schedule our Unstuck meeting and our Sticking Points meeting. And our Sticking Points meeting will start the process of creating that client avatar for you. So isellwords.net, go there. We can get you set up at that point. If you're seeing this video and it's made a difference or helped you out in any way, give me a like. That's all I'm asking. Just it lets me know that the content is connecting with you and it's helping you out in some way, shape, or form. That's all I'm asking for. So that's what I got. Any questions about the client avatar, go ahead and drop them in the comments. If I see them in a timely manner, I will get to them. If you need actual help, I already listed the email. It's in the bottom corner. If you want to ride along with me while we do this thing and build out this stuff, because I'm really still building out the channels so that I'm still under 100 subscribers. I'm building up I'm trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. And so I'm building this thing out. So if you want to see the process, let me know. drop a like or something and let me know that you actually are interested in the process of building these things out, because it's a process that is, I'm still learning, and I think will maybe benefit somebody else to see me going through it. So that's all I got. I think I made my point, right? I made my point. Don't start a business, product, or service without knowing who you are targeting and who you're selling to. Don't make a social media post without knowing who you are speaking with. Simple, but very powerful and effective. And it's a step that a lot of new business owners skip over. They come out with the idea. They think the idea is great. They fall in love with the idea. They spend a lot of money trying to implement the idea, and never once do they stop and think, wait, does anybody want to buy my great idea? And now you're crunched because you got to make the money back that you spent because you didn't spend the time to think about who's going to buy your fantastic idea. That's all. So again, my name is Brian with I Sell Words. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to y'all later. Hey, if you want to reach out to me, the email's below. Talk to y'all later. Peace.